Hey everybody, now today we've got something really special because I am here with Lost Cause Ranch and a gentleman with one of the coolest rigs here today at the National Land Rover Rally. Can I have you introduce yourself?
I'm Joe. Like I said, from the Lost Cause Ranch. We've got a little YouTube channel that we predominantly work on random Land Rovers.
Yeah, so I'm horribly embarrassed that I didn't follow these guys until just now. And then I went on a binge last night and Joe's doing some really cool stuff, including this rig we're in right now. So Joe, what I want to do today, we're out on the trail in a really unique Discovery One, and I want to tell a story behind this rig and kind of what you did to it. So walk me through what this thing is.
So this is a 1996 Discovery One. It's an XD model, which they made a couple hundred of them. It's kind of a stripped down version of the Discovery. And then 28 of those were used for what was called the Eco Challenge Adventure Race as support vehicles. So this is one of those. This thing's been in the Land Rover community for quite a long time. I bought it from another Land Rover enthusiast, got a few minor upgrades, and it has seen some trail stuff. And if you look around outside, it's got some dings, dents, and some love to the body panels, but it is a blast.
So this yellow, these graphics, this is all original to the Land Rover.
This is original. This was from 1996 when they did the adventure race in British Columbia.
So I think a lot of folks watching have probably heard of Camel Trophy, which was this big kind of Olympics of off-roading that took place in some really inhospitable parts of the world. What was the Eco Challenge? What would that mean?
Eco Challenge was a similar thing, a little less automotive focused and a little more like physical challenge. So it'd be running, hiking, kayaking, all sorts of stuff like that.
And they're like, listen, we've been supporting smoking for too long now. Now we gotta go help the planet.
Exactly.
That's so funny. So only 28 of these are around?
Yes, there's only 28 of them.
So what's original to this truck?
So originally they were outfitted with the racks and stuff and the paint, graphics and everything. And then this one has a old school RTE lift, RTE front bumper, a rear bumper, so it's got some armor so we can kind of bounce off some of the rocks without issue.
Nice. And my favorite part about this is just the stance. So you've got essentially a small tire. The combination of limb risers and small tires is one that cannot be overstated. That's the greatest combo.
We're on a safari.
No, so these things are really cool. Now, you've done a bunch of build with Land Rovers.
Yes.
You've done LS swaps, as I understand it, right?
Yep.
And this has got a pretty interesting swap. So talk me through the engine.
So it's got 221,000 miles. They came with a 4-liter V8, and it was starting to get a little bit tired. It's been used. We use it hard. So I came across an interesting one. It is another Buick-based Land Rover engine, but it is a 4.6 liter, and it came out of a Callaway tuned Range Rover.
Okay.
That is the same Callaway that tunes the Corvettes. Back in the late 90s, they made about 200 Range Rovers that they played with, which is quite an odd thing to do, but we were able to get our hands on one. So instead of the stock 180 horsepower, we have a whopping 240 horsepower now.
Dang, dude. So this is something I've heard of. I've never actually seen in real life. But Callaway took a number of P38 Range Rovers and tuned them up. Is that right?
That is right. They went through. It's got a little bump in compression.
Dang.
The cylinder heads were gone through and they're CNC ported. And then it's got a little bit different intake setup. So it's kind of a little more free-flowing, a little more revvy.
So walk me through the Discovery One. Now this is a vehicle that I've kind of dreamed about only for a long time, and I've never actually had the chance to experience or sit in one. Why do you like Disco Ones? Do you think they're better than the twos? Like what draws you to these things?
So for this type of stuff, I really enjoy them versus the twos. I love the twos. We got some of those as well. This has essentially the same frame suspension setup as the Range Rover Classic and Defenders.
Okay.
So we have the 3-link in the rear, so it's got a ton of articulation.
Is that different than a two?
Yeah, the two has a panhard bar.
Oh,
and
really?
everything. So it is a little different setup.
Unreal. So underneath the Discovery One is very close to like the Defender of the same era.
It just is a different wheelbase. So we got a little more. We're in between the 90 and the 110 essentially.
Okay. Now listen, when I tell someone, yeah, I'm really into 90s Land Rovers, they immediately frown because they think that it is impossible to own one of these without going bankrupt. But Joe here seems like a pretty well-adjusted guy. So clearly it is possible to own and live with one of these. So like, what are some of the big common issues with these things, and do they deserve the reputation?
They really don't deserve the reputation. They'll have little knick-knacky stuff across the board. The big thing everyone always claims is head gaskets, but at the end of the day, it's a pushrod V8. Head gaskets aren't that hard to do. So like before we put the Callaway engine in, we went ahead and freshened it up, put head gaskets in it, we're good to go. So keep the cooling system good, keep the temps under control, and they just kind of work.
Interesting. Okay, so head gaskets, not as big of a deal as some people would.
I mean,
if you're a Joe and
if
you
you have the ability,
if you're an idiot like me, I'll just forget that. But no, I see what you're saying. If you're at least a little mechanically inclined, it sounds like it's something that's surmountable.
Yes,
Okay.
and I will say, my brother and I used to own a repair shop and a little small dealership. My biggest advice, if you're not mechanically inclined, find someone who is familiar with them. You'll get taken care of. The stigma of Land Rover allows a lot of shops to take advantage of people because people think they're expensive, so people make them expensive. And if you find someone who really loves Land Rovers and working on them, they'll take care of you. And there's really not anything that can't be fixed. It's like any other 90s thing. There's going to be stuff that goes wrong, but everything's fixable. It's all just nuts and bolts. So
in your time kind of working on these, have you worked on a little bit of everything in the Land Rover world? Yeah, we've kind of ran the gauntlet. I really love the later model stuff too. Okay. I'm a big LR4 guy. Okay. And I will never not have an LR4. It is the most utilitarian, or best utility in Land Rover, in my opinion. You got the air suspension, you can camp inside, you can haul stuff. I have a pellet stove at home, and I put 2,000 pounds worth of wood pellets in the back of the LR4, and it handled it. I don't recommend it, but it did it. So this is perfect. This is exactly the kind of guy I was looking for this video. So if someone is just getting into an older Land Rover, let's say they've got like a budget of 10 to 15K, and they're unfamiliar with the world, maybe they came from the dark side and drove a Land Cruiser, what do you think is the most solid? What would you point someone towards? I'd be in one of these. Disco 1. Disco 1. I wouldn't necessarily say you have to go grab a special edition, but just grab a nice, clean Disco 1. Find yourself one that doesn't have all the body rust or the floor pans rotted out. Okay. The frames are generally pretty good on the Discovery ones, and you don't see a whole lot of rot issues, even in the salt belt. We're in Iowa, so we see a lot of rust. Do you find these are more solid in general than like the 2s or the 3s? The 3's kind of a whole nother animal. The 3's another animal. What about the Discovery 2? Like, okay. They're largely similar. Okay. Discovery 2s, if you stick with an earlier one, it's going to be a little less problematic. You would have to go in and add the center lock linkage. These all come with the center lock differential. All the Discovery 2s minus 2003 also came with the center lock differential. They just didn't have the linkage installed. Which is crazy. Yeah, until 04. That's insane. But then 04 was the last run of the 4.6 V8 for Land Rover, and they were running into some worn out tooling issues, and you can get some sleeves sliding on the pistons. So what I'm really surprised about sitting passenger in this thing is you look at the tires. These are what, 31s, 29s? 32s. 32, sorry, I'm shortcutting you, So we're 235, 85, 16, so we're skinny. But yeah, which is a great look. But you look at it and you're like, that thing is going to be dragging its ass over everything. And we're out here on the trail and like nothing. The clearance is nuts. It's doing great. We're out on Hell's Revenge and it's getting around just fine. What other mods are on this rig? It's relatively simple. We have just a RTE couple-inch lift, front and rear bumpers. It's got a true track rear differential, so a limited slip differential. Okay. We have skid plate, diff guards, and that's pretty much it. That's it? Yeah, you don't have to go crazy to have a little bit of fun. Okay. So if you're just getting into Land Rovers, this is what you might want to be looking for. It's a Discovery 1. Discovery 1, I recommend it. Okay, what about one that maybe is a little bit more of advanced ownership? Is there is there a model that you wouldn't recommend a newbie get into?
There's nothing I don't recommend. You just have to go in eyes wide open
Okay.
to everything. Every model's going to have different quirks and stuff that goes wrong. Like, I love early LR4s. They have the 5-liter V8. The early ones are known for timing chains. If you go into something like that with a budget of timing chain replacement, if you, and I would just set that aside. But the nice thing is that has held the value of those vehicles down because of the stigma.
Right.
So you can go get a nice LR4 for sub $10,000, and that's an incredible rig.
Yeah, right. No, that makes sense. What about, okay, I'm going to really grill you here, the early full-size Range Rovers after the P38 generation with the BMW V8. Would you ever touch one of those?
I'd stay away.
Okay. We found one.
that is the one. 03, 05.
Maybe avoid those.
Avoid those.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, what is it? It's 06, 09, you're fine.
Yeah, 06, 09. All right. Well, Joe, thank you so much.
Oh, no, I appreciate it.
For allowing me to ride shotgun. And if folks want to check out your channel, where do they find you?
It is Lost Cause Ranch. And
Yeah.
you said you're an idiot. I like to claim I'm the dumbest person I know.
I don't know, man. You know how to keep a super cool yellow Discovery running, so that's really cool. But thanks for the input, and hopefully you get a cool bunch of shots of you driving out here and Lost Cause Ranch. Check them out. Thanks, dude. Appreciate
Awesome.
you.
Appreciate it. Happy you guys are out here.